Okay, today's project is on a 2002 Pontiac Grand Prix. This car has a rusted out oil pan. And the other day we were driving, we hit a large chunk of ice because as you can see there's lots of snow around here. And it hit the oil pan and is now causing it to leak. Kind of like a rusted gas tank leak. It's kind of just leaking a little bit from all over the place. It's very cold outside and I don't really have the means to repair it correctly yet, aka replacing the pan. So we're going to try using JB Weld and kind of fixing the pan that way. So in order to do that, we need to drain the oil from the car and clean off the pan as best we can. So I'll get the jack out, jack stands, we're going to drain the rest of the oil out of this car. Nothing more fun than working in the great outdoors. Change the oil filter while we were draining the oil pan. It's mostly dripped out. I have lifted the car with jacks and jack stands so that it's a little bit over towards the drain pan, or towards the drain hole I should say. Try to let that drip out. I'm going to start cleaning it now. We're going to be using a brake cleaner because it quickly evaporates, yet it's great at getting off grease and oil. Okay, here's the oil pan. All the metal in this area right here is gone. It's actually been sheeted, and then there's another layer of metal that's kind of pot marked up through here. I believe our leaking is in this area right over here. Kind of a grip there and where the pieces are falling off. So we're going to try to run a bead, essentially a flat layer of JB along that back edge there. I think we're fine around the drain hole right here. As you can see where it's dripping. And if I have some extra, I think this corner feels fine too, so I don't think there's any issue over here on this corner. And it doesn't seem to be leaking too bad from over here as well, though I gotta double check that corner. Okay, so after doing some cleanup work, I think I've discovered that a majority of the damaged area is actually probably over here in this corner. It's very scary over here. I've sanded it down all the rough material I can. It's just rust after rust. I don't want to scrape it on too much. I'm going to need to secure some of that metal to keep my leak from being a hole. So I think I'm going to be good now. I'm going to wash her down one more time with brake cleaner. And then I'm going to set up my JB Weld. I've got a body filler spreader. We're going to mix the whole thing. We're going to plaster this puppy right up as best we can. There's a little area in the back I want to get on that corner that looks kind of fishy. That corner looks okay. Everything along the back edge is actually pretty good. So it's this front area I'm going to spend most of my attention for. That's the low oil level sensor, which did go off before we determined we had a leak. So the car never did run dry. Nice thing about brake cleaner is that it all evaporates away after a while, so and that's it for this can. So we'll come back. Do a little wipe and we'll be good. Okay, so I'm about to spread the epoxy onto the pan. A better repair would actually be able to form some sheet metal into the contours of the pan, and we might be able to do that because I will be replacing this pan later, but it's outside, it's muddy, it's cold, I don't want to do it right now. So I'll order a pan, I'll get one, and I can then use some sheet metal to kind of make a patch that might work. So if this doesn't work, I can make a patch, try that as well, but eventually we'll need to replace that pan. That's the ultimate correction. But for now we're hoping plastering this epoxy all over the bottom of the pan will seal the leak and at least get us through until the summertime. So what I'm going to do now is mix the epoxy and then I'm going to spread it on the pan. JB Weld epoxy of course comes in two pieces, A and B. In this situation we're just going to use it all. Now to mix it, I got these plastic spreaders, they're often used for Bondo. I'm going to use a medium one to mix and I'm going to use a smaller one to spread. I guess I could do little batches, but honestly I'm just going for the gold. Okay. We have our nice gray texture. I can wipe that off. Okay, I am gonna go take us outside. Let's put this stuff on. I don't know how far this stuff will travel. I'm pretty sure we can spread it out enough. Yep, that's probably our hole right here. The one that's just not sticking anything. We may need to come back tomorrow and hit this some more as soon as this layer dries. I will let this set and come back with some more to try to encapsulate this area. I think this is probably where the worst part of it is. So here's my final repair. It took about 3 batches of JB Weld to get the coverage that I wanted. It's on pretty thick. It encapsulates the area that I wanted to get covered. It's very oily metal, so some places it didn't really want to stick well. That's why I needed 3 batches. A little bit in the back corner as well. The next plan now is to let it sit for 24 hours, just as it is. Then we'll come back and fill the oil pan with oil and let it sit overnight and see how it does, and then we'll go from there. You'll see another video if it doesn't work. If you don't see another video, then it is, and I'll make sure there's something in the notes so you'll know what happened. But that's how you do a very dirty repair on an oil pan on a 2002 Pontiac Grand Prix with a 3800 Series 2 V6.